Oh, here we go.
Tits.
Offence is taken, not given. No need to disarm the world. Just make yourself bulletproof. Hi guys! These words really resonate with me. I read that sentence and it makes perfect sense. But perhaps it comes from my nature to not take offence easily. Some would say choosing whether or not to take offence is a position that's available only to those who are already empowered. But to me, that's a crock of shit. I believe that if you're never exposed to dealing with hurtful comments, then how will you ever learn to brush it off and rise above it? All you'll learn is that you should always get your way and that people should accommodate themselves to your comfort. But life doesn't really work that way, does it? The reality is, you have no power to change other people, only power to change yourself, and we can use this power to shape and change today and the future to come. But it seems to me that the trend today is not to subject anyone to offence, but to cater to their fragility, where schools now enforce safe spaces and environments void of exposure to negativity, where a small boy is criticised as enforcing racism by dressing up as his favourite football player in blackface. The story of the day here in Australia comes off the back of an incident last week, where a female fan threw a banana at an Indigenous player, and I don't think it was because he was hungry. This lady was shamed and had her membership revoked, as it was clear that her actions were that of a racist nature. But it seems to me that when such incidents like this do occur, it's like blood in the water, and the shark starts circling to find any other story to show how racist we are. Here is a classic example of this pattern. A young boy wishes to dress up as his idol for a book week parade at his school. The boy said to his mother, "I just wanted to be him for a day," after confusion set in as to why his mother was receiving so much hate and being labelled a racist. The mother stated that she was told it was a horrible idea and was a little worried when deciding to paint his face. There are so many politically correct extremists these days, she explained. However, wanting to let her son emulate his hero, she grew a pair of balls and painted him brown. He is pasty white sick, and if I just sent him in a wig and footy gear, no one would tell who he was. The boy ended up winning the competition, which makes me glad to hear that schools look past any political correctness. However, any celebration and pride was short-lived after the mother posted a picture of the boy and praised his victory. Not long after that, she was flooded and bombarded with hateful comments, labelling her a bad mother, a racism enabler, and as she says, every insult possible thrown at her. The hate received has been balanced with a large amount of support though. In defence, it has been said that she was not behaving maliciously and that it's not believed that she intended to hurt anyone. You are clearly not a racist woman. Your child has an amazing idol, and that must be a reflection of being in a home with no racist intentions. Exactly. How do you say that this boy is enforcing racism when it is clear that he has grown up in an environment where racism does not exist? Have we not progressed far enough from history that we can look at someone's intentions instead of stagnate in the symbolism of what once was? Although sympathetic, the footballer tweeted his thoughts on the issue. The young blood's innocence merely attempting to emulate his hero hurts my heart, especially when that hero is me. It's a shame racism coexists in an environment where our children should be nurtured, not tortured because they are unaware of the painful historical significance blackface has had previously on the oppressed. I don't believe the mother had any intention to cause harm, just wanted her kid to simply be Nick Nat. That's the name of the footballer. However, may reflect on this and choose an alternate method next time. I can't help but think that this young boy is a shining example of a world where we truly no longer see colour, where you can paint your face white or black and not think twice about how it will be represented. And while it is admirable to remember the struggles and sacrifices of the past, to progress forward, we must to some extent let go of what was. But the reality is, for many, this past is embedded into the very foundation and core of who they are, and so letting go becomes impossible due to emotional attachment. But perhaps I should look into why this is still seen as such a big issue even in today's society. This article seeks to tell you why it's so offensive if you don't get it. The major issue behind blackface is the history of black oppression and that blackface was used as a method to dehumanise black people. They were mocking portrayals that reinforced the idea that black people were inferior in every way. To me, once again, it comes down to intention. If your intention is to mock and ridicule a black person in a cruel and vindictive way, then the connotation takes on an ugly tone and should not be supported. However, this article would argue that not feeling racist when you're wearing blackface does nothing to change how it affects those who see it. Your innermost thoughts don't change the impact blackface has on the people of all races around you, or the way it reinforces stereotypes and the idea that blackness is, at best, a joke. So because someone else thinks black people are a joke, you should change your behaviour even though you don't share these views, just to protect the feelings of those who would be offended. On a lighter note, here are some instances where blackface, or brownface I guess, isn't perceived as a problem. Fake tanning yourself until you look like a burnt Oompa Loompa's dick. Or blacking up that face in the army for camouflage. And what's interesting is that the offence to blackface creates this offence to whiteface counter-argument. As to say, if it is racist to paint my face black, then shouldn't it be racist to paint your face white? Here Snoop Dogg'll crack it up. It all becomes a ball of confusion, really. We may very well live in a society that strives to not offend and uses a concealer of silence and guilt to hide away from labels of political incorrectness. But using politeness as a band-aid so as to not offend anyone won't heal what happened in the past. You cannot truly change another person, but you have complete power to change yourself. When words and symbols hold no power over our emotions, then power is taken from those who would use them against you. No matter what history is tethered to it, the value of an insult is measured in the offence taken from it. Time can be measured in what we make of today. Today will one day be the past as well as determine the future. To me, a young boy painting his skin to look like his hero is a sign of hope that racism is not today as it was in the past. That the thought never even entered his mind is a sign of progression to let the past stay exactly where it should stay. Will society progress faster if we learn to let go of what once was and focus on what we are today through the eyes of a young boy dressed up as his hero?
You can look back there to explain things, but the explanation disappears. You never find it there. Things are not explained by the past. They're explained by what happens now. That creates the past, and it begins here. That's the birth of responsibility. Because otherwise, you can always look over your shoulder and say, well, I'm the way I am because my mother dropped me.